Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today I have an article regarding a priest who was arrested by the Russian forces. And there are some details in this article that, based on my knowledge, I can say more. I can tell you that is very, very suspicious and it's very, very flimsy. I'm going to read this article, and then I'm going to explain what I think this article fails to mention, and maybe my interpretation of the whole thing. So, goggles always here. This article comes from The Hill, and it was published on the 25th of 2022, and it says, family says Russian forces have kidnapped Ukrainian American pastor, priest. So, it says here that the Russian forces allegedly kidnapped a Ukrainian American pastor last week in Melitopol. I don't know if that's the pronunciation, but that's the best I can come with, after capturing the city. Wait a second. I thought the Russians were always losing. What do you mean they capture a city? Are these guys crazy? Because all the news I'm hearing is the Russians are losing. And, they lose this, all that. Okay. So the pastor's wife, Helen Bodiu, told NBC News that she and her family watched as a group of Russian soldiers took the 50-year-old Dmitry Bodiu away last Saturday to an unknown location. The Russian troops knew Dmitry was a pastor, his wife told NBC News. She has not heard from her husband since. So it says here that Russian forces captured Melitopol, a city located in the southeastern Ukraine, early in the campaign. Troops also kidnapped the mayor of the city, Ivan Fedorov, although Ukrainian forces later rescued him. Let me give you something. In war, if you capture someone, the odds that the person will be rescued are very, very slim. Very slim. But nevertheless, what I think happened, I think this guy was never captured and he just resurfaced, and then, they have to cover for the whole story. But that's my interpretation according to how I know things usually work in this world. I'd be wrong. I don't care this moment, but I don't think that's true. I mean, in a war is kill or be killed. Nevertheless, it says here that Ukrainian officials have also estimated that Russian troops have taken more than 400,000 civilians against their will and transported them to Russia, including thousands from the shelled city of Mariupol. Now, this, I think, I don't know if it's true or not, because it's what the Ukrainians say. I want to hear what the Russians say, right? It's always at least two sides to every story. So this, I think, is mentioned to make an image, to make us make a connection between this forcefully taken and taken to Russia, like the Soviet commissars and military took the Germans and the losing armies and the political and the intelligentsia of the countries who lost the war, and they were transported millions to the gulags by Soviet Union after the Second World War, and then they were worked to death over there. So this is, I think, the image that these guys try to make us make a connection if we have a little bit of history in our head, but I think they pumped that with movies that we already know about, the gulags and all that. But who administrated the gulags? That's a secret. That's a secret. Go and see the Solzhenitsyn, Gulag Archipelago, read it, and you're going to find out. And he was a Nobel laureate for literature. So Solzhenitsyn, Gulag Archipelago, and see who were the administrators of these gulags in Soviet Union. Wrong people. All right, so let's go. It says here that Russia has also captured other mayors, and Ukrainians fear it could be part of a move to replace the officials with puppet leaders. You think? Yeah, that's exactly what happens. That's standard procedure in a war. When you conquer a city, you go and see, guys, leaders of the city. Are you with us or you're against us? That means we're going to shoot you or you're going to do what we tell you to do. Basically, or remove you. So yeah, that's happened. That happens in Iraq. That happened in Afghanistan. That happens. It's all armies have their crimes, all of them, in the past, in the present, and in the future, because that's how human nature works. When you're in a war, you can be the pinnacle of love and happiness and have a moral compass and so on. When you get shot at, when you see your comrades, your friends, your army dying, when you hear about things that happen at home with your family, when you hear stuff and everybody about to shoot you, you lose all that in an instant like this. And then you become a savage. It's about being killed. All right? That's what happens. You shit your pants. You're going to be shot, hanged, and whatever. So you're going to shoot whatever. The most disciplined army in the world, they have their crimes. All of them. The fact that we know, let's say, about an army only 3 crimes in their whole entire history is because they don't want us to know, so they don't lose the authority. If you find out, for instance, that FBI did this and this and this and that, like KGB, which is the counterpart of FBI, then you would not love FBI or CIA anymore. But this is their job. The same in the military. You try to, abide by the Geneva Conventions and crimes against this and that, but war crimes. But we are human. Okay, so let's go here. I don't know if that's but that's the standard procedure. They all do it. When Americans went to Afghanistan, what they do with Taliban's? Out with Iraqis. Out. All right. So we hear here that a lot of people follow him, the pastor, and really want. Oh, wait a second. Here it is. Dmitry Badiou was born in the Soviet Union and moved to the U.S. when he was 17, before relocating to Ukraine later in life. And Badiou is a pastor of the World Life Church and Metilo, in the town over there. Okay. So let's see that a lot of people followed him, the pastor, according to the wife, and he was preaching and about and what, telling people, make sure that he's not like they can and he said that the Russian troops, she says that the Russian troops looked through his social media account and pursued videos of his preaching before taking him, his daughter added. Okay. The thing is like this. We don't know actually what he posted over there. We don't know if he just said, praise Jesus, be good people, I love you, let's pray. That's perfect. I have doubts that that's all what happened over there, because they just don't jump like that. Probably they said, okay, guy, you said something. Maybe they have information that he belongs to some departments, if you know what I mean. And I'm going to give you some 100% information. This is not from, I think, I know this to be true. In Romania, before and now, I don't know if now it probably is not the same. I'm assuming, but when in Romania, when it was a socialist country, when you had, and it was a closed country, when you had pastors coming from overseas, American pastors or whomever, to distribute Bibles or to pray or meet, when the second they landed the second they entered the country by car, by train, by plane, by whatever they entered, they had tail after them. They were workers, they were the security, like you have here, let's say FBI, following this guy everywhere, 24/7. That because they didn't know who that guy was, or they knew who that guy was. And most of the time, according to the sources I have, they were agents. They were coming here for purposes. So in the name of the security of the country, these guys, that was their job, to follow and find out. what's going on with this guy. And when these guys were leaving, that's it. And they had different groups that were coming and working 24 hours, and these guys were replaced by these ones, and then these guys like these ones. So the guy would not figure it out. Or even if he knew, probably he 100% knew, because he was, they were, how do you call it, briefed over there. They were trained. Or not even if you're trained. If you're not trained, you don't care. But you see them, you don't see them, whatever. So that was, again, the general tactic. That's what happens here. If these guys have knowledge that that guy comes from Germany here and he's a agent and so on, he's going to have people after him. He's going to have phone tapped and so on. That's general procedure. It's not me, free country, blah, blah, blah. This is stories. These are stories. So this guy, the pastor who returned, I don't know, you don't know, that's true, if he was an agent or not. But maybe the Russians knew more than we do. Or not only that, but you do this with this kind of people because you assume that they might be those guys. And so it's the fact. The pastors were one of the, from my information in Romania, were the main target when they were coming to Romania, not only because supposedly religion was banned in, I mean, according to Americans, no, the communists were, atheists, and they destroyed churches and so on. But how in the hell they came to distribute Bibles and so on, that's beyond me, right? And they were not just killed the second they were dropped. So, that's many other stories over there regarding this incident. But from my information, these guys, the religious leaders that were coming to Romania, they were 99% certain that these were agents. They were just like that. Information from overseas, and by, by default practice of the security forces. I'm not going to get into the security forces, and people might say, oh, the security forces were the secret police and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, there were some of them, they were secret police, but there were more departments than one. So I'm talking about departments that was really concerned with security of our nation, Romania at that time, and now and everywhere. So I don't know if this pastor was this guy agent. I don't know if this guy said something in his little posts, videos, or whatever. I don't know if he was involved in certain groups over there. I have no idea. But I'm just saying that when I read this, for me, it's like, okay, I want to hear the other side of the story. It must be, and I'm overwhelmingly convinced, not convinced. The odds are greater that this guy is what I said he probably is than what this guy portrayed him as a saint. But I don't know. I just give you a different perspective. I know that sounds like a movie, but that's reality, and it's harsher than the movies. This guy probably did something, said something, and he was taken out. I don't know if he was killed or he's just going to be, you got to tell us a few words here. And the same with the mayors of cities. That's a practice. That's a common practice. That's general default by default. All right. Well, that's it for now with this one. And thank you for being with me. As I said, I just provided a different perspective from things that I 100% know about. And stay strong, smart, look for the truth, and be just. See ya. Ciao.